Hi there Booktube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm going to be doing my February TBR. Now, February has turned out to be a bit of a overwhelming month, I think, in terms of TBR, but I'm not going to think about it, I'm just going to do it. So, the first books are ones which are part of the Booktube Reading Buddies Goodreads group. We're doing Fantasy February in February, so everyone nominated a lot of books and then a certain number were picked, and from those books I have got all the ones that I own that I'm interested in reading, and this one's, you know, a little bit more relaxed, so if I don't read them all it's not the end of the world, but I am going to try and get through some, and they're books that I've wanted to read for quite a while, so it is quite exciting. So the first two are books which are on my Kindle, and they are The Magicians by Lev Grossman and The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making by Catherine M. Valente. Then the books that I have physically that I want to read off this list are Jim Butcher's Furies of Calderon, The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and Half a King by Joe Abercrombie. I have to say a lot of these books I don't know an awful lot about, but I know that they're fantasy and I'm quite excited to get stuck into a bit more fantasy. I've been a bit fantasy light really, I'm just sort of getting into it, and these are some of the books that I wanted to start with, so I'm really excited to give these a go and see how I get on. Next this month I've got quite a lot of buddy reads, so excuse the book, but I'm going to read out the buddy reads that I will be doing. Firstly, I'm going to be reading If I Stay by Gail Forman, and I'm going to be buddy reading this with Samantha from the Book Tower. Next, the lovely Victoria Harris, who won my 300 subscriber giveaway, who received Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, and we're going to be reading that one together. And then something that I'm really excited about is that Samantha from Cold Tea and Crumbs and I are going to be buddy reading Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott, but instead of a normal read along together, we thought it would be really great to get you guys involved. So if you fancy reading that as well, we're going to be doing a series called Dear Book Buddy. So the Fire and Flood book is split into 3 parts. And so Samantha and I are going to make 3 videos, one for each part, and we're going to be uploading them on Tuesday the 10th, Thursday the 12th, and Saturday the 14th of February. And in those videos we'll be talking about our views on those parts, so part 1, part 2 and part 3, and also we're going to be responding to the others video. So hopefully it'll be good. Me and Sam will also be talking to each other via the videos, and also it means that you guys can watch both our videos on the same day, find out what our separate thoughts are, and then see us responding to each other as well. And it'd be great if you want to read along too, you then know which parts that you can comment on those videos, and I just think it'll be a really fun way to try and do something different. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, and we'll see how it goes. It's the first time for both of us, so I'm quite excited about that. Next, I've got a few ARCs that I was lucky enough to be approved for on NetGalley, and they are Of Shadow and Stone by Michelle Muto, Melt by Celine Castro-Vila, The Vanishing Girl by Laura Thalassa, and The Rain by Virginia Bergin. So already you can see that's quite a lot of books. Oh, also I want to read the final Song of Ice and Fire book that is out currently, which is the second part of A Dance with Dragons. So that really does take my number up. So I've also got my TBR jar picks, and for that reason, because I did say that my non-fiction I'm going to try and read one every other month, and I read 2 non-fiction this month, so I'm not going to read a non-fiction this month, so this jar is just going to go and be put back. However, I am going to pick my diverse pick, so I'll do that now. That one. Ooh, Cold Courage by Pekka Hiltunen. Let me go and get that. This is Cold Courage by Pekka Hiltunen. I'm not sure if I got this as one of my monthly book clubs or what. I think it might have been. It's an award-winning Scandinavian bestseller, so the author is Scandinavian, which fits into my diverse reading books from other countries and other cultures, as well as about other ethnicities. And it is a thriller, I think. It says a young woman has been gruesomely killed, her body abandoned in a car boot in the middle of London as a warning to others. The police have no leads and no clues as to the identity of the victim. It seems that Leah is the only one who refuses to let the murderer go unpunished. A chance encounter with the mysterious Mary gives Leah fresh hope, but just who is she? Can Leah trust her? Can Leah afford not to trust her? So I'll be interested to give this a go. So that is going to be my diverse pick for this month. Then I obviously need to pick my BookTube recommends book. So let's do that. I'm going to go for this one. I think possibly if it's a really long one this month, I may have to put it back, but we shall see. Yeah, I thought that might be the case. I've picked out Way of Kings and I really do want to read this, but this just isn't the month. I know it's Fantasy February, but there's just too many books and I wouldn't be able, I don't want to get too stressed about it. So I'm going to put that one back, or I'll leave it out and I'll pick another one and then I'll put it back in for next time. A House in the Sky by Amanda Lindholt. So actually that might fit as well if I wanted to add another non-fiction, because that is a memoir and was recommended by Shades of Orange. I'm going to put my Way of Kings back into the tub. Let me go and get that book and I can tell you a bit more what it's about. So this book seems like it might be quite harrowing and might be a tougher read for me. It's about a woman, a journalist who reports working in Afghanistan and Iraq, and then in 2008 she travelled to Somalia and she was abducted by a group of masked gunmen, and this is her story. So I'm interested to read this and it'll be a totally different type of book for me, but actually you know, it'll break up and it'll be a different book, but I think this is quite a serious book, so I'll be interested to see what I think of this. So finally it is my Kindle TBR jar, so I need to pick 2 Kindle books out, so let's see what I get for those. 1, 2, I think 2 have come out. So the first one is The Accident by Linwood Barclay. I think this is going to be a month of thrillers because I know that that's a thriller. I love Linwood Barclay's writing, so I shall be interested to try that one. And the second book is Wild Girl by Kate Forsyth. I can't remember what this is about, so I'll be interested to see how I get on with that one. Maybe I can offer you a bit of insight into that when I've actually read it. So that is my ridiculous February reads, and I've also been very good and I haven't bought books. I'm still doing my 5 to 1. I've currently got 1 credit because a lot of the books that I've read this month have been Kindle books, which I'm not counting. However, I did get itchy fingers for buying, and so rather than buying books, I did reserve quite a lot of books at the library. So I have currently maxed out mine and my husband's library cards. So I have got a lot of those books that I am also reading. However, they're not counting towards my book credits, which means I can't buy any more. So although I'm not reading the books on my shelf, because when I'm reading those, I'm not actually adding to my shelf, so I'm letting myself have that one. So anyway, I'm not sure I'm going to get to any of those this month. We'll have to see if I've got time. Wish me luck. Let me know what you're doing this month. Is your month quite as crazy as this? And yeah, I look forward to hearing your thoughts, and I look forward to updating you on how I progress this month. It's either going to be sink or swim, I think. You know, sometimes when you've got too much on your TBR, it just puts you off reading, and sometimes for me, having a lot on the TBR gives me that, you know, that more choice, which will free me up to actually read them. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, BookTube, I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.